So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, Villa fans, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. And I'm not using my right mic again, I bet you, because the bloody thing isn't showing up here. But anyway, team sheet tantrum for Aston Villa versus Everton. Team sheet should be out any minute now, to be honest with you. I can never remember when it's supposed to be out.
Quarter past, 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Paddy, are you expecting any massive changes?
Not massive changes. Obviously, there'll be one anyway, will there? Because Leon Bailey won't start.
You tell me.
Yeah, well, I'm expecting that one. Depends on how Ollie Watkins is, whether we get that other one. And we're presuming that Ezri Konsa is going to be okay. So that could be 3. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what brings in 3 minutes or so. But, yeah, very important game. Obviously, a game that we should be taking 3 points from. But, yeah, anything can happen within those 90 minutes, of course, that may make us happy with a point. But for now, you'd have to say, regardless of what happens, you would want a win.
Exactly. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, look, a win today is paramount. Don't care. Once again, we're at the stage. I always kind of say this at the start of the season, like, if we win every single game by the ball going in and off John McGinn's arse, I don't really care. You know, that's like getting points on the board early in the season is fine. You don't get any extra points for style. Like Erling Haaland is scoring goals out the wazoo at the moment. You don't get any extra points. Well, you do. You get 1 extra point come the end of the year if you win by goal difference. Like, but you don't get any extra points in September, October for style or for winning by tons of goals. So, you know, at the end of the day, just go out there and get the win today would be my instruction. And it's very Martin O'Neill of me to say that, considering we've got Unai Emery in there at the moment. But I think it's one of those ones today that you're looking for, obviously, for a good performance. You're looking for the players to do right by themselves. You're looking for, I suppose, look, we'll talk about it, Paddy, you know, the fan zone open today. It seemed, we've gotten photographs of the fan zone, the new fan zone, and packed out the rafters. So obviously, you know,
early doors it was.
That was 2 hours ago. That was, if not 2.5 hours ago, it was packed out the rafters, you know. So, and this is not me pinning my, like, as I've said before, if you want to protest today, protest today. If you don't want to protest today, don't protest today. And that's what's going to happen as well, I think, in the stands also. And look, the main thing, the biggest thing today is 3 points on the field, in 3 points in this game. Anything that's going to happen with regards to boardroom or with regards to changing prices and stuff like that, it ain't going to be done come 7 o'clock today. So that's my methodology or my mindset with regards to this is everything today matters on the field, and the biggest thing is getting those 3 points, regardless of how we get them. Get those 3 points today.
I've done Ollie Watkins solid this morning and took him out of my fantasy football league, so the pressure's all off. Ollie, go and score your hat trick today and make us all. So did
happy. Melty took him out as well. So I can't remember. I usually played it. I have a fantasy league team, which I always started at the start of the year. Never touch it and see how I get on, because that to me is the essence of a true good fantasy football player. If you never have to touch your team, that means you were right from day one. But I played a draft fantasy league with a couple of my friends.
It means you couldn't be arsed. That's what it means.
It means I couldn't be arsed, yeah. But you look, anyone can look and go, oh, this fella's having a great season. But it's known he's going to have a great season before the season starts.
Yeah, but people get injured. People get suspended. You have to change it.
That's your own fault, Paddy. No, look, you're talking. No, you're like Unai Emery doesn't give out about people getting injured and people getting suspended, does he? No, you gotta play with it. You gotta play with it. But anyway, I'm talking about the draft side of things. I'm joking, by the way, Paddy. I just don't care. I don't care about fantasy football, but I play in the draft with a couple. I play a draft one with a couple of my mates, and I've Erling Haaland, so I don't really care. Outside of that, I've Erling Haaland in that draft. We have
a team sheet, Neil, and there's a little bit of drama on the team sheet.
There is. Small bit of drama. Well, there isn't. I think. Let's see.
We've Ramsey in for Bailey, obviously.
We've Ramsey in for Bailey, and we
Bogard
have
starts again at right back, which is fine.
yes. So we have the team is Martinez in goals, Bogard, Konza, Pau, and Dina, McGinn, Onana, Tielemans, Rogers, Ramsey, and Watkins. So not really much drama, just Ramsey in. But on the bench we have Joe Gauci, Ian Matson, Nedeljkovic, Ross Barkley, Emi Buendia, John Duran, Diego Carlos, Caden Young makes his way onto the bench. Something that I've been quietly saying on Twitter anyway, that guys like Caden Young, Sils Finkles, obviously, and Adi Ziyech will be might be bolters to be in our in some squads for the Champions League this year. And Caden Young makes the bench today, which is nice to see because he's a fully grown man. And I love to see him there. But Jaden Philogene makes the bench as well there. So only real thing for me there is Ned being left out and Bogart being getting the nod again after his start against Leicester. What do you think, Paddy?
I think we discussed this the last time. I think it's absolutely fine. I think he needs to show a bit of faith in Bogart, just in the manner that he came off the last day, just his last few minutes, more than anything else. Other than that, he was absolutely fine. I think this is the perfect opposition for him. We spoke about Nedeljkovic during the week and the experience he's got playing obviously Champions League football, now international football, and look, we've seen him in there and he's absolutely fine. So he's a nice one to spring from the bench, especially if we're going to chase the game, or if we need to chase the game, that is. And look, there's game changers on the bench. We've got, you mentioned Caden Young, great to see him in there. I'd actually love us to be in the situation where we can throw him from the bench and replace Ollie Watkins or whoever that may be at that given time. Jaden Philogene is there, Buendia is there, Barkley is there, Matson is there. Look at that for a bench. Like that must be the strongest bench I've ever looked at, really, for a Villa point of view.
There's easily like if you were to go down to monetary value of that bench is worth a pretty penny, you know, like in comparison to some of the benches we put out last year, you know, put a price on John Duran, Emi Buendia, Ian Matson, if we even 37 million. Nedeljkovic has gone massively up in value, you know. If you're talking Chelsea bought players last year, didn't even play them and were selling them for 10 million more than they bought them for. Like Ned is through the roof from where we signed him at 9 million. Look, but the monetary value doesn't mean much. There's a lot of experience, a lot of youth, a lot of talent, a lot of creativity there in the bench, and there's a nice little split there as well. 3 defenders, 3 midfielders. Well, 4. Well, I suppose really 2 midfielders and 3 attackers. Really, when you look at it, with Barkley and Buendia being midfielders, and Duran, Caden Young, and Philogene being more on the attacking side, but. You know, we're in a position we only need to name one goalkeeper as well, Paddy, and that's you know, that always kind of, I suppose, speaks to the strength of the squad as well. Yeah, there was one comment there where I think it was from Barry that said Neil's face dramatically changed when he saw the sheet. Neil's face dramatically changed when he went, shite, I can't find Twitter. I had a window open and I couldn't find it. Paddy said there's a team sheet out, and I went, there is, and then realized I didn't have Twitter open. So that's where my face dramatically changed there. But yeah, it's not a like, as I said, that's probably the team I would have expected to see out there. It'd be interesting to see whether Rodgers plays wide left and Ramsey is in behind Watkins, or whether McGinn plays wide right, or maybe Ramsey over there, or whether Rodgers plays behind Watkins and Ramsey plays out on the left. You know, so it's going to be, that's really the only interesting piece for me. I think, you know, bar that, everything is probably as expected. And look, that bench, Paddy, you mentioned that bench. Pick a spot for Kamara and for Mings as well once they get up to full fitness over the next couple of weeks. And yeah, great problems to have. Really, really great problems to have.
Epic problems to have. It's a great situation to be in. There's so much at play here. Someone mentioned in the comments there, I've lost it, about maybe saving Nedeljkovic for Tuesday. Good point. A lot of football. Played 2 games at an international level. Very good point. So, yeah, it could be the starter on Tuesday. Yeah, and look, let's not look too far ahead, because this game today is equally huge, because these are the ones we need to win, and these are the ones that we need to get the points on the board for.
So the Everton team, we discussed a lot of this, Paddy, about who was going to play at right back last week in the preview. They're going with Pickford. They're going with Ashley Young, 3 months younger than me, in there at right back. Tarkowski, Keane, and Mikalenko. I'm delighted they've gone with Tarkowski and Keane in there. just because I don't think Michael Keane is as good as Jake O'Brien, or as obviously Brantwaite is still injured at the moment. Then they have young Tim and Ghana are going to be in that pivot there. It's going to be interesting to see how Tim plays against Aston Villa when he comes back here. I want him to do well, but I just don't want him to do well today. And then they've got Iniman Ndiaye, Dwight McNeil and Harrison playing behind Calvert-Lewin, kind of as we expected the rest of the team was, but it was a case of who would they play at right back? Would it be Young, or would they play with James Garner in there, or what would they come up with? And then on the bench they've got Virginia, they've got a young lad Dixon, they've Jake O'Brien in there, James Garner, Mangala, who was with Forest last year, transferred to Lyon, and now is transferred to Everton, so a defensive midfielder. They also have Doucouré in there, who seems that, in my mind, Doucouré must be about 40 at this stage, but he's always there for Everton. He's there too. Another young kid, Armstrong in there, Jesper Lindstrom, who they signed this off season as well, and the big tall beanpole Brazilian striker Beto that they signed from Udinese last year. So they've gone with a couple of young fellas on the bench there as well, the likes of Armstrong and Dixon. And it's look, that team, I hate saying it, but like Aston Villa's, when we talk about Villa's bench, we talk about Villa's team, I like the look of this matchup, albeit paper never won any game. It has to be won on grass. So we'll see what happens come kick off today.
Yeah. Three ex-villains on that team. Drissagana Gay, obviously Tim Eric Brunham and Ashley Young. And have we three on our team? Luca Dean, Onana, and there's another, I think we have 6 in our squad, or 5 or 6 in our squad. So there must be.
Ross Barkley.
Ross Barkley is one. Robin Olsen is another, not in the squad.
Robin Olsen, Lewis Dobbin, not in the.
Lewis Dobbin, obviously gone out. Yeah.
There's quite a few. It's. There's an interesting one here as well. Stephen Maxwell says Unai couldn't get Gertrude in time, so he decided to turn Bogart into him. And look, that's the measure of a good manager. Go back to my flaccid fantasy football argument a moment ago. That's a sign of a good manager when you can pluck somebody from national obscurity. Obviously, we knew about him, but nationally, he wouldn't have been known about. And if he ends up being that Swiss Army knife type player that can mold and adapt and grow and evolve over the course of this year into that centre half, right back, defensive midfielder, mentality or ability to be able to play across those 3 positions, then Unai Emery deserves another year on the end of his contract afterwards, because that's what good managers do, thankfully, and we do have a good manager to do that. So it's fantastic. Brian Hennessy says he's watching from his sunbed and honeymoon in Lanzarote. Well, congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Hennessy.
Yeah, he's someone else to congratulate there as well, Neil.
Flange is there too.
Back yesterday from getting married in Jersey. Nicely chill out, waiting for a Villa game to kick off the Villa Park for the Dogheads next week. To both of you, congratulations, and wishing you both a very long and happy life together. So,
absolutely,
great news for a Saturday. Still can't get my head around these people getting married during a football season.
Wait a minute. You just said, I wish you have a happy and healthy life together. I don't know whether Brian and Flange actually got married to each other. I think it was two
I don't think they got married to each other, but I was aiming the comments at both of them.
Just in case we've broken up either marriage automatically just by mentioning it here. I hope that isn't the case.
I love the way you dodged that slag of me slagging you getting married during a football season.
Yeah, I did, of course. Yeah, that's why my mic just suddenly became louder than yours all of a sudden.
Is it not always?
Yeah, exactly. This is going to, I meant to say at the start, this is going to be a bit of a shorter one. Paddy's got to run off. The Limerick Lions Club are meeting up, or the Munster Lions Club are meeting up in Limerick today, so he's got to run off there. So he might have to run off in a minute. Paddy, before you do, what is your thoughts on score-wise and predicted scores for this one?
I went with 2-1. I think in my prediction without seeing the team. I'm going to go 2-0. I feel a little bit more optimistic as I always do as we get closer to kickoff, but I would gladly accept any type of win today. Sean Dyche's team's notoriously hard to beat. I think if we score early, we could score a few, but I'd be quite happy to win this 1-0 or 2-1. I have a feeling we might need two goals to win the game. So, it's one to look forward to. You know, we've got through 15 minutes without saying it's the most played top flight game of English football history. But it's historically a game that I love going to. I've been at the last 3 home Everton games. Really enjoy going to Goodison Park as well. Unfortunately, it's a midweekend this season, so I won't get there. But looking forward to this one. Looking forward to seeing what Sean Dyche can throw at Unai Emery and see how hard it is to break them down. I have a worry with McNeil and Harrison. They could do damage to us. On their day, they're capable of being world beaters, but you'd have to think with what we have enough to go and win this game and win it relatively comfortably without breaking the bank goals wise.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. I predicted 2-0 in our pre-match podcast, and I'm going to stick with that. If you guys want to start putting in your predictions below, I'm going to scroll back up and come to some of your comments to start putting in your score predictions below there as well. Couple of comments there. I should have really started these. David Dwyer says, let me take Dominic Calvert-Lewin off the screen there. David Dwyer says, I like Everton as a club though, so I hope they start winning after this. Me too. I've massive appreciation for them as well and their longevity within the league and our proper football club. I've always said that. Caden says, love the pod up the Villa. Thank you so much, Caden. Really appreciate that as well. Tara Roblox says, of course, hit the like or the thumbs up button on YouTube. We're useless for saying that, so thank you to everybody who reminds people every single podcast to hit the thumbs up button there. I love it. People saying love to see the Premier League action back again. There's the comment you were looking for there, and Nedeljkovic might be in reserve for Tuesday potentially. Yeah, I think that might be the case. RA Venture says that Digne has to be an outlet today. I need to get him up the pitch to give us width. Team looks pretty narrow otherwise. I read an interesting piece, and I'm going to butcher this, but I'd love to go back and find it, that statistically the last 12 months have been the best Luca Digne has ever played in his career. Statistically, but like it was all these advanced metrics that I didn't understand half of them, and they were like, this is the best he's ever played in his career is under Unai Emery. And of course he came out and he said that, listen, I'm 31 years of age and Unai Emery has come in here and completely transformed me as a player, more or less. No, obviously I'm paraphrasing there. That's not what he said, but that's essentially, the vibe that we got from him from what he said during the week as well, when he was interviewed on France duty. And French duty when, getting back into the squad as well. And he had a quite good game for France as well when he played during the international break. So well done on that. Where else are we? Ronan Ward, greetings from the upper deck of the fan zone at Villa Park. Come on, Ronan, you made it there. Good to see you.
I've just been watching Ronan just said the two of us do videos there of
did he from the top deck?
The fan zone. I must say, I got flashbacks to the 90s of getting to Villa Park when I watched that video, because it reminds me of the old B&I ferry to Holyhead that I used to get the train down to Birmingham. So that's what I took out of that video. But look, it's great for somewhere to go in nice and early before the game and be covered and not have to deal with the usual Birmingham weather, which we were only a few weeks away from getting cold and wet on match day. So I've serious FOMO today. I as I said time and time again to people, I've been saving for this Champions League because it's so important to me. But watching everybody rocking over from Ireland today and watching their photos and videos, and I just wish I was there today. But sure, look, that's life. We'll have plenty of catching up to do when we finally get over.
Exactly. I think so too. Stephen Maxwell says Bogard will have help from McGinn today. Looks like a favourable matchup for us. Yeah, I think there's going to be more the case today. Starting from the start, there'll be probably more eyes on that and how McGinn does. And I don't think Bogard's issue is really in the defensive side of things, but obviously having that experience in front of him is going to be very beneficial for him as well. Where else are we? Mervyn Charter says, why are we trying to turn Bogard into a right back when we have a right back international who played against Spain this week? I think it's just preference. I think it's Unai Emery just prefers him there at the minute. And
I think it's just the run of games that we're on to give him the opportunity to get these minutes under his belt and get the experience, because we're going to need this player to come in and do maybe one or two different jobs within this team. So to have the experience of playing an away game against Leicester and now getting at home against Villa Park, which the atmosphere should be electric tonight. I love a 5:30 kickoff. So there's every reason why he should give him a little bit of extra time. Neil, I'm going to shoot off just because I'm going to miss the bus. So enjoy the game, everybody, wherever you're watching from, and thank you so much for joining us today. And we'll be back probably. Well, I'll be back maybe tomorrow or Monday. We'll get a rerun over things because we'll have to do a preview for Tuesday, I suppose.
Yeah.
But,
and
have a
I'll
good
be
day.
back directly after this we'll do the rundown. You go, Paddy, you run, and you get into the pub and up the Villa is right, and we'll do a rundown here of there we go. We'll do a rundown of the scores there that everybody popped in there a moment ago. So where was I? Oh, I had them all started there, but they're all gone now. James McGann is going with 4-0 Villa. Ronan Ward is going with 3-0 to Villa. Carlo Weather is going 2-0 with Ollie getting on the score sheet. Tom is going 6-0. Where are we? Andy Badger is going 5-0 with a Watkins hat-trick. Juror is going for 3-1. Caroline going 2-0. Stephen Brown 3-1. Paul Miller 3-1 as well. 3-0 says AV FC RSAV. John Steele going 4-0. The film and music is going with 3-1. Mark Kelly is going 3-1. 5-2 says Richard Parks. Lily Tate is going 2-0. C. Lina is going with 3-1. Raphael is going 4-2. Junior 3-0. Danny, is that Samuel Lilling Jr.? I bet you it is, because he scored an absolute banger today. Actually, yeah, there's Scott Taggart says he scored, Samuel Lilling Jr. scored a good goal today. They came back from 2-0, I think it was, down against Como, and I was watching bits and pieces of it when I could run back into the TV. But yeah, anyway, Danny Harvey 4-1. 2-0 says Anas. Declan Bagnall is going for 3-0. Paper Wings is going for 3-0. Kevin Doyle is going for 4-1. Good man, Kevin. Hope they're all well down there in Wexford. I hope that is international striker Kevin Doyle. Scott Taggart going 3-0. David Dwyer going 3-0. Ollie going 2-0. Jonathan Kinsley going 4-0. Dico is going for 4-1. Tyra Roblox is going for 3-0. Mark Wayne is going for 4-2. 4-0 says Carl Kennedy. Who is going 5-0 with Pau scoring. Where are we? Bear in the Garden is going 2-0. 4-0 says Chippy Bailey. Where else are we? 9-0 says Sean. 1-0 Neil Special says Matt Hallinan. V for Villain says 3-1. Bog says 3-1. Spencer Bakewell 3-1. Rob Henry's going Ollie 2 Everton 0. Flange going for 3-0. Moose going for 3-0. Daniel going for 2-1. Blake going for 4-1. Bertie 4-0. Ranger 3-0. Mr. Burrito 3-1. And that is it. And Rob Warner says Forrester beating Liverpool. Wow. That would be a big turn up for the books. And Matthew Maguire is going to finish it off with a 2-0 Aston Villa and an up the Villa as well. Excellent stuff, guys. As I say, this is going to be a bit of a shorter one. I have a very, very stressed partner inside trying to make gingerbread men with my 2 kids. And I just shot out the door and didn't say a thing that I was coming out here to do a podcast. But look, needs must. We got to get to the podcast. I might go back in and my kids might be missing fingers, but that's fine. I presume fingers can grow back. I'm not big up in the medical side of things, but I could presume that's the case. But I do got to go in and tend to them as well. We will be back directly after the game with a post-match podcast. As always, I hope you join us again for Aston Villa versus Everton, and hopefully we're talking about a good Aston Villa win, and where Unai Emery's men take 9 points from the first 12 available and would have a rocking start to this Premier League. But thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. Please hit the thumbs up on your way out. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you're on YouTube and you're not on Twitter and you want to go onto Twitter and hit the follow, please do. If you're on Twitter and you're watching this on Twitter, go over to YouTube and hit the thumbs up, please do too. That would be absolutely fantastic. But we'll see you again directly after the match, and all that's left to say is stay safe, stay healthy, and up the Villa.